Good morning, all. Today we are going to be doing the book and makeup tag, makeup and books. I'll put the actual tag and what it's called in the description so you can see what goes with what. My mom was like, what the heck is that when I brought it up? So it is a tag that has 11 different questions and it's supposed to go along with the different makeup that you use every day. There's some things that I just don't use every day, so they are not included in my tag, but it's 11 different things and each one has a prompt attached to it that correlates to a book. So I saw the Demure Blonde do this tag and I thought her video was a lot of fun, and also I just really like her, so head over and check out her account as well. Tag video also seemed like a good idea because I am using all of my creative energy to film and edit and make things for work right now. So normally at the library I'll just be doing like my in-person stuff during the day, and then when I come home I feel like I still have the energy to go and like film something and edit it and try to be creative for booktube or bookstagram or book Twitter, which is a thing I joined now. But at the moment I just feel like it's hard to come up with ideas because I've been using all of my ideas for work things, if that makes sense. So having a tag to follow along with was really helpful and hopefully makes for a fun video. I hope you guys enjoy it. Let's go right to it. If you want to see how I did this comfy look and what books inspired it. So today we are going to be filming in the bathtub because this is the way I figured out how to do this, and it's early in the morning and I don't want to wake anyone else up. So maybe the cold porcelain will wake me up as much as the coffee will. Let's do this. Not as cold as I was worried it was going to be. So today we are going to be doing the book tag thing with makeup. Something along those lines. First things first, so I don't usually use primer, but I do like to mix a little bit of moisturizer, Les Crèmes Concentrées from Embryolisse, in with my new favorite foundation, which is the Eyeshadow Synchro Skin Self-Refreshing Foundation. Weirdly enough, in Linen, which is not their lightest shade. I actually got shade matched for this. I ran to a Sephora in Boston. I think it was the one in the Prudential Center. So I did that, and then I got shade matched. So it's probably a little bit red, but this still is the foundation that I get the most compliments on when I'm wearing it. And I do like a little dab of that, and I bought this little guy because I could go to Paris, and so I bought a whole bunch of Parisian skincare when I was trying to make myself feel better. So you can watch my quarantine in Paris video on my channel. And for primer, the prompt is a book that left a lasting impression on you. And for me, that has to be Trial by Journal by Kate Kleiss and Sarah M. Kleiss. I still recommend it to people, like to this day. My copy is falling apart. And it is this cool, like fake found multimedia journal written by a girl who is the first like juvenile juror. Their county had decided that if a case involved a minor, there had to be a minor on the jury. And this is 6th grader Perry Keat is missing, and I think it's Lily Watson is going to be on the jury and like help decide who was guilty and everything like that. And it is just a wacky story, and I love it so much. And it kind of started my love for like multimedia storytelling like that. And then Foundation is favorite first book in a series. So there are like 3 different prompts that I could answer with Harry Potter. So I'm gonna just, you know, mention that that would be my first instinct. But what I'm actually gonna do for this one is the, where did I put it? There it is. The Name of the Wind. So I can't find the actual first book of this series right now. I know I have it at home somewhere because I wanted to reread it while all of this crazy is going on. But it's The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. It was recommended to me by my first ever boss. So I had this really cool summer job when I was a kid, a place called The Food Project. And it's a farm in Lexington, and then there's one in Dorchester, like an urban farm, where teenagers run the show in the summer, which I thought was extremely cool. But it's not just farming. They also put on different workshops for us on like how to open a savings account, how to open a checkings account, and they would bring chefs in to teach us about cooking the food and like food to plate. And that's how I got my second job. Actually, I ended up working as a hostess and waitress at one of his restaurants. But they would also do kind of workshops to make us better people. So they do workshops about food waste and about like global food consumption and things. And then they'd also do, oh sorry, I just realized you can see the toilet in the background. Whatever, we're in the bathroom, you do this. They would also do workshops on difference in like all its forms. So we had one about like LGBTQ, we had one about like where people come from, because it was a really interesting mix of kids. They had kids from like the suburbs like me, they had kids from middle of Boston, kind of people from all over Massachusetts, and it was so interesting. But my commute was super long because it was, my parents would drive me to catch my parents would drive me to the station where I could catch a train, and then from that train I would go like half an hour on the red line and then switch to a commuter rail and then go to where they would pick us up on a bus, and then they'd drive us on the bus to the farm. But it could be more complicated. There was one day where I walked to the like weird little, it felt like a roller coaster from like old-timey Disney, and catch that tram to the train to catch the other train to get a bus. It could get complicated, but she was the first person who was like a mentor to me, and she saw that I was reading a lot, and she like saw what I was reading and recommended this series to me and was like, I'm interested in hearing your thoughts. So that book has a special place in my heart for sure. All right, next we have Concealer, which is pick some characters you wish did not exist. I'm gonna be using the NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer in Vanilla. And this is also something I got Shade Matched for, which explains why I love it so much. Those two things I'm going to be spending a lot of money on for the rest of my life. So my first instinct here is to say Umbridge, but she's just really fun to hate on, so I don't even think I could say Umbridge really. So I'm going to go with another, it's a book that I have a rant review on my channel. And it's called the Lily Barlow series. Let me just finish this up and then I'll grab it. Alright, coffee. So you can see that. Okay, Lily Barlow, The Mystery of Jane Doe. So this is a book that I really wanted to like, but ended up absolutely hating, mainly because of the main love interest, who is her friend from home named Jack Turner. And he the author presents him as like the ultimate good guy, and then he ends up like pressuring her and just being an all-around fake good guy. But we're supposed to still see him as like a good guy. I didn't like it. If you want to know more about the details of why I didn't like it, you can go and watch my rant review, because there's a whole section dedicated to why Jack Turner and their relationship makes me so bad. and I wish didn't exist. Next we have powder. So I am not gonna say Harry Potter here because that epilogue, not pleased about it. But I have this powder, which is also another wish I was in Paris purchase. It is the Poudre d'Armophile Stérilisée de Thé Leclerc, and I have the shade Banana. I'm never really sure how to show this because the powder is all in the cap. It's just kind of a like translucent but subtly yellow powder. So for this one, I'm gonna go with something that I don't know. Actually, it's like kind of just the whole series, which is the Wayside School series, which is something that I absolutely loved. I'm at home right now, so I have all of these books that I haven't seen in a really long time on my shelves, and it's making me really happy. Like I said, I'm not really sure which of these is the first and which one is the last, and if you kept going beyond the three that I have here. But I have Wayside School is Falling Down, which I think is the first, and then Sideways Stories from Wayside School, and Wayside School Gets a Little Stranger. And I remember just absolutely loving these when I was a kiddo. My whole class would read them. There were times when my teacher would read them aloud to us, and it was just such a blast. So I definitely love these, and I should probably reread them while I'm home. They're gonna take like an hour at most each, but they're really, really fun, and yeah. Okay, so that's powder. I think I will also just do bronzer while we're here, because that's a powder. Use the Marc Jacobs Omega Bronze, because it's large and I'll never run out of it, I hope. So I have tried to film this before, but I did it at like the end of the day, so the lighting is probably really wonky. Not that this lighting is much better, but also, yesterday I was very, 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 very tired, and I think as a result I fell asleep at like 9:30, which I never do. So this is the most well rested you are likely ever going to see me. Just a wee bit of bronzer to help give my face a little bit less of that round look. All right, next we have eyebrows. Pick a book you think everyone should read. So the book that I'm going to talk about, my mom is actually reading right now because I shoved it into her hands, and I'm planning to shove it into Anna's hands afterwards because Anna is up here with us in quarantine because she lived alone and that didn't seem like a good idea. So it is Tuesday When He Talks to Ghosts by Goats. Tuesday When He Talks to Ghosts by Kate Rakulia, and I think it's a perfect book. It is like a fun adventure. It takes place in Boston, but like even if you haven't ever been to Boston, if you read this book, I think you can say that you've been to Boston because it is so well done and so specific to like my city. And it is so fun, and I've been telling this as well, but it reminds me of so much of another book that I think everyone should read, which is The West End Game. I don't remember who it's by because I read it when I was a child, and I re-listened to it for the first time the other week, and it was so fun because I had forgotten a lot of the twists and turns, so it felt like I got to reread a favorite book for the first time, and just such a fun mystery. And yeah, those two and those two kind of like interconnected are ones that I think everyone should read. Next we have Eyeshadow. So pick a book with your favorite colors on the cover. This is one that I haven't read, but I brought it into quarantine with me because or social distancing, whatever we're calling it these days, because I have been meaning to read it forever. It is definitely a book that is like right up my alley, and that is The Heart's Invisible Furies, which I think is just gorgeous. Like that pinky orange, the yellow, and the blue-green are all some of my favorite colors, so there's that. And it's set in Ireland, which is also a thing that I love. There's like an auto read for me. Alright, so normally for eyeshadow I just use the bronzer that I showed you for the previous step. And then I also have this itty bitty cute little Pat McGrath thing. And I'll just take the brown in the middle there. I just got all over my finger. And add a little bit of further dimension to my eyeballs. Hopefully I can fix the lighting on this afterwards. I realized that all the light is behind me. Probably should have turned this whole setup around and done it the other way, but I'm tired. I'm not even tired really. I just got finished telling you that I am the most well-rested you'll ever see me, but it's early. I'm only halfway through a cup of coffee. That's what we're gonna blame this on. So it also asks for eyeliner, which I don't really do anymore. I used to do cat eyes every day of my life, but I don't anymore. I just leave my eyes a little bit defined. But if I were to do eyeliner, I would use the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil in Perversion, which is just black. And yeah, it's very smudgy. I like it a lot. And this one I actually got sent for free from Influencer, so I will put that in my description box if you want to know more about that and how to join them. But that is for a dark and mysterious book, and if I'm going to pick a dark and mysterious book, I'm going to pick The Burning of Bridget Cleary by Angela Burke, which is one of my favorite non-fiction books, which is also, it takes place in Ireland. It is turn of the century Ireland. Bridget gets sick. She's kind of like a modern woman. She's got her own money. She's got a real nice house. She keeps chickens, does some like sewing for people, and gets sick. And her family gets accused of murdering her, and their excuse is that they thought that the woman who was sick was a changeling or a fairy, and that in burning the fairy, Bridget was going to come back. So it's really creepy to think that that could have happened in turn of the century Ireland, and it's just so well done. Oh my goodness. Read this book, please and thank you. And I do think it's all the more dark and all the more creepy for being real. So that's the book I would pick if I were putting eyeliner on my face. Mascara. I used this one from CVS, Luminous Lash Paradise. And I'm about to do a really big English major flex, which is tell you that I have finished Infinite Jest. This is a monster of a book. The text is tiny, like could not be smaller kind of tiny. Abnormal. The pages are thin as can be, and it is 1,079 pages, maybe more. How much of this is just also by David Foster Wallace? That's the about the author. Yeah, 1,079 pages. The only reason I could have read this, and the only reason I thought I understood it for like 5 minutes, is that I read this for a single credit class in college, my last semester of undergrad, because I didn't want to take like 4 credits over the required amount. So that I read, and because I was at Boston College, which is right near everything or everywhere David Foster Wallace was when he was writing this book, we went on a field trip around all the different places that are either suspected of being included in the book or that we know for sure inspired places in the book. And that was a really cool way to kind of wrap our heads around just the incomprehensible storyline. And I don't even think I can tell you really what it's about now. It's a book I think you need to reread every year of your life if you're ever going to make sense of it. But I can flex and say that I've read the whole thing. I even wrote a paper on it and got a good grade, so I must have seen something. Must have made some kind of sense of what I'd read. Don't know where that paper is now. Don't know where my understanding is now, but at one point I knew what was going on. Okay, after Mascara is Blush, which is pick a book with a cringe-worthy romance. I don't read a lot of romances because I think most of them are cringe-worthy. I already included one cringe-worthy book in this, and the other one has to be the Jean Harlow Bombshell, which I had high hopes for because the author is actually a descendant from Jean Harlow, just like her great niece or something, I don't know. And it's really cool. She had a stamp made of her signature that is in the front of the book, and it's half biography of Jean Harlow, half murder mystery with way too much romance thrown in. And yeah, she tried, but no, I did not like it. I did not like it at all. You can go watch that rant review if you want to listen to more of it, because I don't want to go on a rant right now. It is too early in the morning for that. But the blush I use is just this orange Tiger Lily from Becca. I got in a small compact form from Marshalls or TJ Maxx or something, because your girl likes a pumpkin. This lighting makes me look like my makeup is crazy, so I'm gonna do my intro and my outro somewhere else, because I swear this is my normal everyday makeup and it doesn't look extreme. Alrighty, then we have a highlighter, which I don't really wear anymore. If I wanted to wear highlighter, I guess I could put some on from this little eyeshadow palette again. Just use the lightest shade. So I guess I'll dab a little bit on, because the prompt is a book that brightens your day, which is cute. So I'll just dab a little on with my finger and then probably go over the blush again. With the same brush that I used for most of my face makeup. Or I guess most of the powders. Alrighty. The book that I reach for if I am having a bad day. Is a book that I have reread more than just about anything in my entire life. And that is Pride and Prejudice. I have about 6 copies of this book. I really enjoy the annotated ones with all of the information that you wouldn't know as a modern reader in footnote form. This one's a really pretty one, and it makes me happy. It puts a smile on my face. I just love this book. I think it's probably the first book that I was just like, oh, I could reread this every day of my life. And I read it for an English teacher in high school that was actually known for being notoriously difficult and impossible to get good grades for her. And I think my love of this book, it was the first book we read as our summer reading, shone through, because my English paper was I think 2 pages longer than it needed to be. It was kind of 3 different pages smushed together, because I just wanted to talk about everything. And I got an A in that class on that first paper, and I think I wrecked the curve for all of my friends, but I was so proud and I loved that teacher so much. Like, I was obsessed with her. Her name was like one of my backup passwords for a really long time. She's not anymore, so don't try to steal my passwords, and I'm not even telling you her name, so good luck anyways. But yeah, she really inspired my love of like literature instead of just reading, if that makes any kind of sense, because I still do like just reading. I've mentioned I haven't had coffee yet, right? All right, so the last step is lipstick, your favorite book kiss. And I don't like romances, so I don't think any book kisses really like stick out in my mind, because like, isn't it more important like when you're reading a book, it's how the characters like think of each other when the other one's not there, or even when they are directly in front of them, but like what they think over that like physical act. And I think it's either overblown or like underwhelming if people are talking about like an actual kiss. So nothing really comes to mind for me for that. And maybe Ron and Hermione, maybe we could just do Darcy and Lizzie. Sorry, I don't have one. What a weird end to this. Yeah. I just read Everything I Never Told You, and I think the only kiss in that book is between the girl who dies and the boy who's in love with her brother. So that definitely doesn't stick out, especially because it's considered like, it's described as like a little girl's kiss, because she has never even had like a friend who's a boy before, or a boyfriend before Jack. But that book wrecked me, so it's gonna stick in my mind for a while. But I love this lipstick. It is Bobbi Brown Crushed Lip Color in Plum, and it's just more of a balm than a lipstick, which I like. All right, so that's my makeup done. Let me go find a place that the lighting is not horrible to do my intro and my outro. All right, now I'm sitting on the bathtub and holding my camera, so this is how we're gonna do our outro. But this is my kind of everyday makeup look. That makes a good highlighter, look at that. Way to go, Pat McGrath. I hope you guys enjoyed this little tag video and seeing me first thing on a weirdly well-rested morning. And yeah, if you want to do this tag, please consider yourself tagged by me. I am doing it after seeing the Demure Blonde do it. I haven't been tagged in this, but it seemed like fun and a good way to have content and do a video without getting a little fried from the creative process that I am going through at work. So I never know how to end these things, but hopefully I will see you soon, and if you want to follow, you can do that.